really, it's a two quarterback battle right now between Tyler and Drew. I think they all had major strides in the spring. You know, Tyler missed the last two practices. One was being the spring game and the practice before that. But, you know, he got 13 really good practices in, and you know, I thought both of those guys had extremely good spring. You know, and then Steve and Ronnie, you know, those guys had good springs in terms of progression, right? But what you'll see is Drew and Tyler battle it out, and they'll both get reps with the ones. And again, when myself and Coach Reese and the offensive staff feel it's to a point where there's a quarterback that's clearly showed us that he's the starter, we'll name him. Yeah, as soon as we can. You know, I love the competition aspect of it. You know, I think competition really helps people grow. But as soon as we're ready to name a starting quarterback, we're going to do it. We're not waiting for a certain time, a certain days, but we just need to make sure we're ready to name a starting quarterback, and we will. It's been really good for me to really spend a lot of time with the quarterbacks. You know, to see their progression, because I tell them all the time, you're going to get blamed if things don't go well, and it isn't always your fault. And perfect example today was Tyler threw a ball, it looked like it was a bad throw. I don't know who it was running the route, kind of didn't run the route exactly right, and I looked at Tyler and I said, hey, that's why you got to hold people accountable, because from my point of view, I looked at, man, that was a bad throw. No, that wasn't a bad throw. We got to make sure we run the right route. So a lot of things fall in there as quarterbacks play, and that's what I spend most of the time with. And so it's been eye-opening to really just to see it from their point of view. I love being around our O-line. I do. That is, you know, I say it all the time, we're an O-line, D-line driven program, and those guys work and they're pushed and they continue to respond to being challenged. I love being around. I love just the culture in that room, the vibe. And so, you know, I spend a lot of time looking at those guys, especially maybe because I'm behind the offense and those guys are looking kind of where I'm in my direction. But as much as I can spend time with that O-line and D-line, I'm going to continue to do it, because those guys will drive our culture and our program. You know, Jaden Mickey was a freshman that, you know, did a really good job in the spring, and you know, he's an energy provider. You know, those confident guys that provide energy. Brandon Joseph, same thing. Offensive line, you know, I'll continue to fall back to those guys. And Zeke Garrell, I mean, because of the spring he had and what he showed, we felt the five best offensive linemen to get the five best offensive linemen on the field would be to move J-Pat to guard. And so obviously showed us a lot of value in the spring. And so, you know, God, I don't like pointing guys out.